This episode of Super Over is brought to you by DP World. From transporting the soil and grass 1,200 miles to New York for the ICC Men's T20 World Cup, through to the Beyond Boundaries initiative to make cricket more accessible. DP World's smart logistics help deliver the game at all levels. Smart logistics, beyond boundaries. Welcome to the Super Over. Jarrod, Kimber here, Jeremy Coney as well. Jeremy, we've been to a lot of test matches between the two of us. You've been to, 7,000, 8,000 of them, which is more than has actually been played at this point. And I've been to about 1,000 or 2,000. There aren't too many moments that either of us have felt in a crowd like this, completely packed, bored in, with the tension and everything else that was going on, that we felt in the afternoon here, only to have all that energy and drama washed away with a little bit of bad light and one brief shower.
Yeah, it did dissipate. It was a slow build-up, really, wasn't it? I thought at the start of the day, India basically, because they had 324 runs, were probably slightly ahead. Their bowlers were fresh. They had a newish ball to bowl with, and they were bowling on a variable kind of bounce pitch.
Yep.
So the things, and if they used the wobble ball properly, they could be quite difficult. They picked up a couple of wickets. They were up for it, weren't they?
Yeah, that first session.
They certainly charged. Every time Siraj bowled one over where he beat Duckett 5 balls in a row.
That's crazy,
and they just literally charged in to encourage, and so they were ready to go. But then, of course, the key partnership. As soon as Brook came in to join Root, then that was the start of the main part of the day. And then, as they progressed, it seemed as though England were going to get over the line quite comfortably.
Yeah,
it wasn't until after tea that really that excitement that you just described to me really built up to a head.
The last session was, the last little bit of the session that we actually got, the way it was building from tea onwards, it was incredible. Let's just go back though.
Yeah.
The Brook and Root partnership, obviously Brook decided to break India and instead hit the ball straight up in the air, and Mohammad Siraj took the catch. Except, where were his feet, Jeremy?
Well, one of his feet, I think, really.
Just a single foot.
It was an interesting decision to make. Root was struggling a bit at that point,
yeah.
Nearly out LBW, and then Brook decided, right, I'm going to do something about this. And that was early on, once he decided to go ultra aggressive.
It was around, 35, 36 over period, yeah. There was a 5 wides bowled by Akash. India were really struggling.
Then he got underneath one, and from Krishna, and he got it, and it was a very high chance, wasn't it?
Really high.
And Siraj had plenty of time, actually, to make sure he was where he was relative to the sort of the boundary cushion. And so at that point, he sort of planted his feet, but then it was so high and coming down, and in the act of taking the catch, he lost his balance, and so one of his feet went against that cushion, and therefore, it was interesting. On the middle of the field, there was Krishna celebrating, arms up.
I thought he'd taken it. I just thought it was a catch.
Absolutely. But the heel went onto that cushion, so therefore 6 runs.
That seemed to freak Brook out, and he went back to like one-day accumulation mode after that, right? I know you and I were very upset with the amount of singles that they were taking, and that Shubman Gill was just allowing to happen.
Yeah, I think there are times in the game where you are letting a team run their way to closer and closer and closer to the target, and taking no risks at all. And I'm not sure you can allow a team, and particularly with someone like Root, who was so effective and has built his whole entire career really about scoring off good balls and getting 1s and 2s all the time, and keeping any danger away from the other batsmen. So that was looking a bit too easy for me. And then of course the 3 seamers started to tire.
Akash Deep looked absolutely exhausted. Prashant Krishna, he's a thin man. He didn't look like he had much left. Mohammad Siraj, to be fair, and let's just talk about Mohammad Siraj here. He's taken 2 wickets. right? He didn't even take the most important wickets. And yet, I don't know if I've seen a bowler try as hard for as long. It was giving Ben Stokes and Neil Wagner vibes, wasn't it? He was just, I am going to continue to bowl. And he was doing brilliantly at his end, but at the other end, they couldn't find any way of matching what Mohammad Siraj was doing.
No, he certainly stood out as the one who had the most industry and the most determination, if you want to call it that, and the will. It was willpower, really, wasn't it? And that's what India were relying upon. They did try 8 overs of spin against the 62 overs or whatever it was of seam bowling. And you can kind of understand that in a way. It's not been a spinner's pitch.
No.
It goes back to selection issues that India have had right throughout the 5 test series.
I tell you what, they looked a seam or two light today, didn't they?
There you go. So, but then it was that after tea, things really started to get interesting.
What about Harry Brook? So I think they started to swing the ball just at that point, and Harry Brook thought, this is another chance for me to go after them. So he hit the 4 through here that Siraj didn't. Then there was another one on the leg side that he scored. And then he decided to come down and maybe break Akash completely, which by that point I thought Akash was already broken, but maybe he was trying to smash some of the remaining pieces. And instead, he drops his bat, hits the ball straight up in the air.
Yeah.
This time Siraj catches him inside the playing surface.
Didn't stand on anything other than the grass.
Jacob Bethel comes out, and suddenly the ball is swinging, it's dark, and it looked like a completely different game.
Yeah.
It didn't look like, it was a completely different game from that point.
That's right, it did. And then Brook's bat didn't go as far as punts. Nowhere near as far as punts.
It took him a long time to pick it up, though.
Yes, it did. It did. So, but then, as you say, then it started to get interesting as soon as Brook went. And then Bethel came in and struggled getting the ball away. Got a couple, but charged. Tried it again, felt under pressure, under edge onto the stumps. Then the pressure did start and went on to root a wee bit.
Well, that's also when the other Indian bowlers stood up, right? Yep. Akash Deep bowled some better balls at that point. Siraj and Krishna came on and bowled a beautiful spell when I thought he was spent as well.
He did.
And Root, it got in his head a little bit, and he ended up just fishing for one, right? And gave India another chance.
It's interesting, isn't it, when you take a wicket and suddenly energy arrives from a place in a well that you thought was empty. But suddenly it was in the legs for the bowlers. They were hitting the pitch a lot harder, and as soon as you do that, you start to get movement and some bounce. And that's precisely what brought about Root's dismissal, wasn't it? Just outside the off-stump, maybe looking to run it. I don't know, to get off strike and so on, and maybe get a boundary. Who knows through that cordon? But no, Jarrod took a good catch diving away to his right, good strong. Push off the left leg to get there so he could take it two-handed. So, it was then as soon as Root went.
This place, the roof almost came off.
People leaned forward.
There was a lot of leaning forward. India had at that stage the darkness. They had the ball reverse swinging.
Yeah.
They had the pressure because Overton looked like, even if he wasn't going to go out, he was going to run himself out at several times. And they also had the fact that there was no heavy roller due.
Right.
And then when the darkness came too much, and then the rain, tomorrow it's going to be hard to rebuild that.
They lose some of that, of course they do.
Yeah, and the heavy roller could play that. Maybe the final battle in this will be that first half an hour. If they can keep the pressure for half an hour, they can win this game.
Well,
but if they can't,
it calms the wicket down. But they will have fresh legs, the bowlers from India. They will have the possibility of a new ball coming in 3 overs.
Will they take it?
Well, that's a possibility, isn't it? I mean, that's something they're going to have to work out. I guess we've got audience as well here, folks. We're drawing them in. They're still leaning in.
That was on YouTube.
I know, exactly. So the new ball, I would have thought you would have spoken to Siraj about that, actually. He's earned the right to make that kind of decision. Yeah. He's the one who swings the ball more than the others. It's Krishna who goes into the pitch a bit more and looks for bounce. You might like that. But it won't be easy batting either.
Starting again, both of them?
Yeah, even someone like Overton coming in, he's a big hitter for Surrey, but it's not that easy to hit big when the risks you've seen from Bethel going out, from that sort of thing, it's not that easy. So it will be a nervy start, there's no doubt, for both sides.
I tell you this, Jeremy, this is what you were telling me off air, and we'll do it on camera. Jeremy said 1,000% sure this will be a tie. We'll see you tomorrow.